This video will go over how to define porous regions to replace equipment items or modules in your Flux project. Before we start, let's look at why you would want to replace a module in your project. Although using the full CAD model to provide a more accurate result, it can lead to longer computation times. For larger projects, it may be beneficial to replace far-field CAD items, which are away from the analysis area, with volume-based porous regions or primitive shapes with the CAD creation tool. This approach is commonly used across the CFD industry, and not just with the Flux CFD software. Examples where porous regions would be helpful are expansive onshore facilities, dense offshore rigs or FPSOs, but also to represent things like pipe racks or complex sets of equipment. Now let's look at how to define the porous region. With your CAD model already imported, choose Porous Region from the Add Items tab and set the type to Porous Region. This tells Flux to apply a volume-based porosity to the defined region. Now choose two opposing points for the cuboid region which best covers the module. It can be helpful to do this from a bird's eye view to obtain the X and Y coordinates before manually entering one of the Z values to set the height. Next, enter a porosity value which best represents your module. For this example, a value of 0.91 is entered, meaning that 91% of the flow is allowed to pass through the region. For determining the porosity value to use for your project, it is recommended to perform a sensitivity study to test various porosity values on which best matches the congestion and turbulence when compared to the original CAD model. This can be done by looking at streamlines over the original CAD model, and then comparing it to the streamlines over the porous region. Rerunning the cases for different porosity values until a close match is found. With the region bounds and porosity values set, click Add Item to add the porous region to the project. Once added to the project, any new ventilation simulations will use the porous region rather than the original CAD items it covers. If needed, you may select an individual or a subset of porous regions from the Advanced Options dropdown. Any regions defined for the ventilation case will then be used for any associated dispersion or fire simulations. Once defined, the porous regions used in the simulation can be seen under its Properties panel. If you have any questions about porous regions and how they apply to your project, please email us at info@insightnumerics.com.